Well, cosmic fire, love, and blessings coming to you from the Rocky Mountains. And I suppose on so many levels, there aren't words to really capture the experience there is of being immersed in the mountains. If you've been to one of the great mountains of the world, whether that's the Rocky Mountains in North America, the Alpes Maritimes, the Swiss Alps in Europe, the Himalayas in Asia, or the Andes of South America, I once read that these mountain ranges of the world, they have so much beneath and through them that humanity doesn't really know. We're not really, there's not necessarily a clear awareness within the mainstream consciousness, the mainstream context. I would imagine that many of the beloved dear souls that come and visit mountain ranges to enjoy often do so because there's a sense of the call, the sense of being healed and refreshed, whether it's just to walk around the mountains themselves or to visit some hot springs and to feel your body cleansed and healed. I mean, there's no doubt that a big reason why there is such a draw, such a pull for so many dear souls is because this is felt. And yet there is so much more. There's so much more to the mountains than perhaps is realized by many. In the 50s, there's an organization known as the Saint Germain Foundation. And what that included was some dear souls who incarnated, who had a particular affinity with being able to hear the will and the words of the divine. You might know this as, say, a channel. And there was, I suppose even then, saying the word channel is probably selling this short, or what was actually happening. For the reports of some was that when they received such messages, that there really was a sense of seeing the words in fire, as it were, like not just hearing a voice, but whatever the case may be. During the 50s, there was actually a series of messages that were shared with the world. And they were reportedly from some of the cosmic fellowship that identified themselves as the gods of the mountains. The gods of the mountains included Tabor of the Rockies, Meru of the Andes, South America, and Himalaya of the Himalayan mountains in Asia. And then I've never heard or read of the god of the Swiss Alps being specifically identified with a name, although I probably should inquire because this was back in the 50s and 60s. And one of the core elements that was shared was that the mountains themselves, if you understand the earth as a body, but of enormous size, relatively speaking, okay? So the planet itself is a body, and that it has chakras, and there are areas of the world, like energy centers. It has different aspects of the body is represented, and the mountains, that aspect of the body, is represented or understood as being like the spine, as being the storehouse of cosmic fire. There's a reason why this channel is called Cosmic Fellowship, by the way, and that will unfold. I'll sort of share more of that when it feels right and timely. But the mountains are a storehouse of energy. If you imagine that at the galactic level, there is light and love that is pouring from the galactic, the central sun of the galaxy. And that through many traditions, this has been identified, this has been spoken about in different ways. But if you imagine at the galactic level, this is like the local sort of a galaxy is a sort of a local crucible of evolution, okay? And that light then pours through to a solar system. And so then that light now is received at that solar level, and then it's poured toward a planet. So there's the galactic logoi, and then Alpha and Omega. And then there's the solar logoi, or logos, the Helios and Vesta, the masculine and feminine polarities. Not to be confused with masculine and feminine gender in the human context. And that then the light then is poured from the sun to the planet. Now, we at a physical level, we're aware of this, we understand this, we get to see, at least in a material sense, the sunlight shows up and it pours, and through photosynthesis it allows plants to grow, and that the sunlight is central to our ecosystem. But physically speaking, that's just scratching the surface, right? When we look at what's actually happening around us, this light then pours from the sun, and it's received by the planet, and the mountains are I suppose, to use a very crude term, could be likened to being like batteries, where this cosmic fire pours and it is received, and then there are custodians that have identified themselves as the gods of the mountains, and that they receive this, and then they are overseeing the storing of that, a portion of that energy, and that then it is released into nature as needed. And so when you think about that, that suddenly opens up a whole host of possibilities when you start to realize, oh, there's so much more than meets the eye. There is this opportunity when we come to the mountains to call upon and to send our love to the I Am presence, and to call for the gods of the mountains to release the cosmic Christ fire breath through us to bless every particle of life. And you don't have to be physically in the mountains to do this. I happen to be physically in the mountains because over the past few months, I've really been called on a daily basis to reach out to these cosmic intelligences, whatever label you want to give them, that are the custodians of divine love and light, cosmic fire, love and blessings. And so that everywhere I go, every moment, I strive to reach up and send my love and adoration up to the I Am presence, and to bless all of the cosmic intelligence that are in turn blessing us, and that are seeing that to life unfolding, to life being, and that really this particular experience of mine over the last few months has brought me here. And here I am. I mean, how stunning is this? And how I'm immersed in invincible purity, and how absolutely profound it is. And whilst I'm physically here, this gives me an opportunity and the proximity to be truly moved, to truly feel, and I can take this with me. And so my invitation to you is, should you find yourself called to spend some time in one of the mountain ranges, I invite you to engage in that experience with a conscious awareness of, well, this is my opportunity to call the divine through me, and to draw, to recharge myself. For this is the promise of the divine, to recharge myself with cosmic fire, love and blessings. And so that I can go back into the three worlds of human endeavor and consciously direct that energy around me, consciously direct that energy to allow it to flow through me to bless every particle of life. And even if you are not necessarily blessed with being able to travel to the mountains, to spend time in the mountain ranges, maybe you live somewhere where it's many, many miles, or it's just not practical for you at this time, then even just watching this video, just looking at the mountains, just connect with the invincible purity that is here, and just set that intention. For really, in the mind of the one, there's no such thing as physical separation. That's merely a physical idea that we've got ourselves caught up in. And so whether or not you can physically come, if you can, wonderful. If not, just set that intention before you leave whatever place it is that you are currently living in. Call upon that cosmic intelligence, that divine love, gods of the mountains, whatever label works for you. Call upon that invincible purity. Call upon them to release cosmic Christ, fire, love and blessings through you, to bless every particle of life, everywhere you go. For this is ever present. This is ever present, and it is but a call away. Anyway, so cosmic fire, love and blessings.